This is the Chancellor's Report from 89.7 WUWM, Milwaukee's NPR, featuring Thomas Gibson, Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And here's your host, WUWM General Manager, David Lee.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining the UWM Chancellor's Report here on 89.7 WUWM. I'm David Lee, General Manager of the station, and I'm here with UWM Chancellor Thomas Gibson. Hi, Tom.
Hello, David. How are you? It is so good to be here with you again.
It is so good to be here with you in the new year. I'm so excited to be here with you. So good to see you. So tell me, what part of UWM are we exploring today?
David, we are exploring the UWM libraries.
Incredible. And why'd you pick the libraries for our visit today?
Well, as many of you know, libraries have evolved over the years, and libraries are at the heart of any college or universities. And I truly believe that libraries are integral to student success.
Well, I can't wait to get into it with you. But first, before we start, I want to know, given somebody who has spent most of your life in academia, do you have any memories of time spent in libraries during your undergraduate or graduate work?
Absolutely. I have wonderful experiences. In fact, I can recall doing the most of my studying and holding my study group sessions right in the library of my undergraduate institution. And in fact, the largest computer lab at my institution was located within the library. So I spent a considerable amount of time in the library.
For me, I spent so much time at my college's library watching movies because we were able to check out movies, and there was the little like VCR players. It was great. Okay, so who do we have with us today?
So today we have Dr. Michael Doylen, who is the Associate Vice Provost and Library Director.
Well, incredible. Welcome, Michael. How are you today? Doing all right?
I'm good. It's great to be here with you, David and Chancellor. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
So are we. So you've been with UWM quite a while now. I'm not going to count the years, but it might be 25-ish, over 20. Tell me about your journey and what drew you to UWM.
Sure, I'm glad to. So I am a Wisconsin native. I was born in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, which is just an hour north of Milwaukee, you may know. And I'm also a first generation person in my family. So that's a real point of pride for me. I earned my bachelor's degree at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, and then moved on to pursue my PhD in literature from the University of California, Santa Cruz. So a warmer, sunnier place than Milwaukee is right now. That was in the late 1990s. I was finishing the dissertation, and I had come to the conclusion that I wanted to do an alternative to a traditional kind of academic tenure track career path for myself. And I was fishing around for alternatives to do with the PhD. A close friend and colleague suggested that I consider librarianship. And I was glad I did. It's turned out to be a wonderful second home for myself. And I've always felt a strong affinity with libraries and their mission. So on that advice, I actually received my Master's of Library and Information Studies degree from UWM.
I love that, Michael.
Oh, wow.
Go Panthers.
Yeah, so I'm a Panther. In addition to being a Badger, I'm also a Panther. So, so I got and I'll always be grateful for the School of Information Studies for helping me to reset my career goals and giving me the skills and knowledge to kind of make that transition, which was not easy at that time to do. And then in 2003 is when I first started working in the UWM libraries in a permanent professional position. And I've had opportunities for career advancement over multiple years. I started as department head, and people were generous and held doors open for me, so I was able to rise through the ranks, as it were. And And in 2019, I became the permanent director of the library. So I've been here a long time. It's but like a lot of people who work at UWM, the longer I've stayed, the closer I've become to UWM's mission. It's dual mission, both as a public access institution and as a top tier research institution. And it's just been gratifying to have those opportunities and to be able to see the differences we're making in the lives of our students through the library.
That's incredible. You know, you sort of outlined the journey of your career here, and so I'm sure that most of us on this call and many of our listeners of a certain age remember using card catalogs. How has the library at UWM changed since you've been with us?
Certainly the most significant transformations that libraries have undergone over the last few decades have all been due to technology and the web. I mean, you just think about how people access content these days, and we just take it for granted that we'll have this wealth of content digitally accessible immediately at our fingertips. And that's true for libraries too, and the type of content that we provide, very scholarly academic sources, ebooks, e-journals, all this content is online now. As I said, the days of discovering these things through card catalogs is long past. It's a single search option, very similar to Google, that libraries have leaned into. And the other transformation has taken place around the services that libraries stand up related to our collections and our resources. So many students are able to interact with library staff virtually. They can use chat to ask kind of basic reference questions of library staff and get immediate answers. If they're needing a more concentrated, in-depth kind of interview with a librarian to use to get advantage of that person's subject expertise, they set up a Teams meeting and can have that concentrated time with a librarian. So technology has been the driver for change, and it's going to continue to be. I think we're seeing the next phase of change is certainly going to be driven by things like Chat GPT and artificial intelligence. We're already seeing those technologies kind of wind their way through libraries, and we're looking at ways we might be able to automate different workflows in libraries. And we're also seeing the vendors, the vendors that we work with in libraries are beginning to layer different artificial AI technologies on top of the services that they provide. They call these research assistants. And they're really powerful. We're seeing how these research assistants can support researchers in summarizing an article that they might find in a library database, or beyond that, being able to summarize an entire corpus, basically do like a working literature review across an entire database or set of journals. So it's really powerful and really exciting to see that.
So what you're telling me is that I no longer need to know that 796.357 are books about baseball.
You probably don't need to know that, yes.
Darn it.
But
So
if
the
it's helpful for
dual,
you to know that, yeah.
so the Dewey Decimal System is a thing of the past.
Chancellor, broken dreams. You've just broken all my dreams. Melville Dewey is one of my heroes in life. That's great. So Michael, you graduated from the Master of Library and Information Science program at the School of Information Studies. How does the university benefit from having this institution within the institute, the broader institution?
Sure, having the School of
Yeah,
Information
that's right.
Studies
That's
at
right.
UWM. Yeah. Well, it benefits the libraries tremendously. Largely, the thing that readily comes to mind there, David, is how the school can serve as a pipeline of talent for the libraries in a couple different ways. At any given time, we're hiring about 50 UWM students as student employees.
Mm.
And these students are working at service desks and helping people to find things and check out library materials. And those students can come from any part of the university. But within that group, we usually have like 15 or so paid internships. And these are largely occupied by students from the School of Information Studies. And the opportunity there for those students is that they're able to get kind of practical work experience at the same time that supplements the coursework and what they're learning in their courses and through working alongside faculty. So these are students who have identified librarianship or archives as a career goal for themselves. And I'm happy to report that students who have interned at the UWM libraries have found jobs at the Library of Congress, at the National Archives, and locally prestigious institutions as well, like the Milwaukee County Historical Society or the Milwaukee Public Library or Marquette University as well. So that's on the graduate student side, and then on the professional side, it's very common for SOAS graduates to show up in our search pools when we're running recruitments for the library. And I'm not the only Panther on staff in the UWM libraries. I scanned our org chart earlier today, and I can identify at least a dozen other people. So maybe a fifth of the library staff who are proud Panthers, in addition to myself.
That's
That's
incredible.
fantastic.
Let's zoom out a little bit and bring the Chancellor back in on this, because I know, Chancellor, you are such an advocate for student success. Can you tell me a little bit about how the UWM Library supports student success?
Absolutely. And you've hit the nail right on the head, as they say, David. Student success is my priority for the institution. It's a part of our institutional vision, and it's largely my why I do the work that I do. But our libraries are critical to helping to make college going more affordable.
Hmm.
And they do that by providing access to low or no cost course materials. And in fact, during the 2024-2025 academic year, our UWM libraries saved our students approximately $1.7 million in course material costs. So this is an absolute savings to students and their families. It's a game changer, and it certainly supports student success at the university.
Michael, from your perch, how does the library support student success?
I appreciate the Chancellor calling it out. That's top of mind for what we do in the libraries as well, because we know that higher education is expensive and students have to make difficult choices about how they're spending their money. So the library's contribution to college affordability is something we really think deeply about and try to increase those opportunities for how we can help support students. The other way student success runs across library operations. We can think in terms of, that'd be an example of how the library supports students through collections. I can give you a couple other examples, one related to library spaces, and one related just to kind of overall student wellness. So let me give you an example of how library are reimagining our spaces to be more supportive of our students. In spring of this year, the library opened up our graduate student commons on the second floor, east wing of the library. As you know, grad students are a very important part of UWM's student population. We have over 4,000 grads at UWM. They're like a fifth of the overall student population. They are an important part of the research agenda, and they're going to be the professors and thought leaders of tomorrow. So graduate students were telling us that they felt well supported by the library, but they were also looking for a place to call their own and something that they could be together, but apart from the general undergraduate population, which tends to be a little noisier, a little more active perhaps, and it has different needs than the grad student population. So we partnered with the graduate school on campus. We pooled our resources, and we were able to design and renovate this area on the second floor of the library. Um, it opened mid-spring semester, and within the next 6 to 7 weeks, we had over 2,500 visits of grad students to the space. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was immediately really,
Oh.
really well used in addressing a critical need. So really happy about that. And then in addition to kind of reimagining library spaces to support our students, we're mindful of just how much stress students can be under. This is finals week right now, pretty stressful time for our students. So we do what we can to kind of keep things light and create opportunities for students to de-stress. One of the ways we do that is through by bringing in therapy dogs. So almost every Wednesday, we bring in therapy dogs into the main area of the library. We call it Wag More Wednesdays. And the dogs just really, they come in shifts, and they really light up the afternoon for students. It's great.
We've been saying UWM libraries a lot, but I think most people think of the library as just one building. Can you both tell me what makes up the UWM libraries as a system?
Well, I'll start, and then I will
Yeah.
yield to Michael, because I'm really a fan of our archives and archives in general. I think that archives are so important as they helps to preserve history, and in our case, it's the history of Milwaukee, the history of UWM, it's the history of southeastern Wisconsin, and it affords an opportunity for students to really learn about the rich history that we enjoy. As someone who taught archival research when I was at Bowling Green State University, I can really appreciate this part of our libraries.
That's great. Michael?
Yeah, I really appreciate you calling that out, Chancellor. That's home base for me in many ways. That's
Really?
where I started
Okay.
my professional career. Was my first job at UWM in the library was as head of the archives department.
It's
So,
fascinating.
archives will always be really close to my heart. One of the things that distinguishes academic libraries these days are the strength of their archives and special collections. And at UWM, for a library of our size, we're pretty special in that we have 3 separate collections of rare and unique materials. The Chancellor mentioned one of them, the Archives Department. The other 2 are our Special Collections Department and the American Geographical Society Library. So special collections, when you think of archives, you're probably thinking of original business records or organizational records, photographs, unpublished source material, in other words. In special collections is where we house the rare and unique print materials, such as books, magazines, posters, things like that. One of the things that distinguishes our special collections is its collection of artist books. And this is a collection where the creator of the work has really elevated the form of the book and treats that as a work of art in itself. Over a couple decades, we've developed a really strong collection in the book arts. And the other a special collection that brings UWM prestige is the American Geographical Society Library. This is the second largest cartographic collection in North America. And usually we don't like to talk about being second place. You won't hear me talk about being second place. But in this case, we're second only to the collections at the Library of Congress. So I can be fine with that.
That's basically first in the real world, right? I mean,
I think so. I think we're in real good company.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's a vast collection that consists of maps, atlases, books, photographs, and geospatial data. It's worldwide in coverage, and it dates from the 15th century to the present day. So it's a vast collection. We have researchers who visit worldwide. Just in the last year, we had visitors from Chile, Spain, and Prague. And we recently had some really nice coverage by TMJ4 as well. So maybe your listeners caught that.
So it just seems like with all of these incredible things that are going on, what else might people not be aware of about the libraries with all the storytelling that's happening about all of these incredible libraries and collections at UWM?
Oh, sure. Well, and it's I don't want it to go without saying how important general collections are to the library too. We have a vast collection of like 1.7 million physical books, 1.9 million ebooks. So ebooks are outpacing our collection of physical books now, and about 240,000 journals and databases that we provide access to. So we really do a lot to support the students and the faculty experience across a broad range of disciplines. It's understandable when people think about libraries, you think about collections and the stuff that libraries provide access to. But I'd really be remiss if I didn't also call attention to the different services that libraries have to support people in using these library resources. Our library staff provides course instruction to over 10,000 students annually, with a real emphasis on information literacy and critical thinking skills in terms of assessing the resources that they're using. We provide over 5,200 research help and consultations to students on an annual basis. In addition to loaning books and information sources like that, we also loan equipment, laptops and computers. And last year, we loaned 6,200 laptops out and other pieces of equipment to UWM students. So those are some of the services that we have to support people using collections. And I'll circle back to spaces again, because as libraries are concentrating on electronic resources, we're thinking about ways to reuse our physical spaces. And the Chancellor started this conversation by talking about how his memory of libraries was using library spaces. Your example was about the use of library spaces. And library spaces were right in the center of the campus. We're like 300,000 square feet of physical space spread out across 2 wings and 4 floors. So we have lots of opportunity for quiet study by students. It's a very traditional use of libraries, which students continue to value today. We have a coffee shop. We have a meditation room. We have group study areas. So as a physical space, we also have a lot to offer students.
So we reach a large portion of our city, county, and listening region. I think so not all of them are Panthers, unfortunately. But what I think the number one question on their minds right now is, can the public use the UWM library, or is it just for students?
We're as a public institution, we're open to the general public. People are welcome to come in and use our physical spaces, enjoy our exhibits. We also have enjoy our exhibits. We also offer different programs on a regular basis that are well attended by the community. And people can also borrow books from our physical collection as well. So we have a lot to offer everybody.
David, I want to
for sure. Chancellor.
Further double down on our exhibits. Exhibits such as Whose North Is It Anyway, and Violins of Hope. We certainly would invite the public in to really engage with our exhibits, and we're really fortunate to have them for a moment of time as part of our library.
This is really, really great, and been a really fascinating discussion about a gem on our campus. But unfortunately, our time is coming to a close, and we generally like to wrap up the show by sharing the coolest thing we've done in the past month. So, Chancellor, what's the coolest thing you've done in the past month?
So, as part of our university's Arctic Employee Appreciation event, I had the opportunity to stand inside an inflatable snow globe with many of our campus colleagues and we took some rather silly photos, but it was just an opportunity to just enjoy each other's company. And for me, to really thank all of our campus colleagues for all that they do in support of our students and our great university.
That's great. Michael?
Sure. Well, it's a cold time of the year, so we're all looking for warmer things to do. And a couple of weeks ago, I got to attend a performance of UWM's Steel Drum Band. They were performing in Kenilworth, and the tropics were in the air, even if I couldn't be with them in person.
In person.
So that was a really enjoyable evening. I'm a big fan of the Steel Drum Band.
As for me, again, I have to say, second month in a row, having this conversation and learning more about the libraries at UWM has been just really, really fascinating. I think for me, like learning today and sort of reaffirming this notion that libraries serve as a not only at the university, but more broadly as a place for common space for people to come together, as a place to catalog and preserve information and to disseminate information and to ensure that access to knowledge remains free and accessible, is incredibly vital and important to our future together. So thank you all for sharing and being a part of this conversation with us and our listeners. Thank you for being here today, Chancellor. I look forward to continuing our conversation and our exploration of UWM next month.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. And thank you, Michael, for being my partner in support of student success.
You're welcome. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you, David.
You've been listening to The Chancellor's Report, featuring Thomas Gibson, Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. If you'd like more information, go to uwm.edu/chancellor.